So, here at the 9 o'clock position on Metalopolis, we have aTn.Socke spawning as our blue Protoss player. His opponent down here at the 6 o'clock is the one and only TSL.Killer. So, Killer versus Zaka, and game number 1 was pretty standard 4-gate on 4-gate fair. Zaka tried to expand out of it, didn't work out too well for him. Game 2 went a little bit longer, and Zaka had incredible awareness against those DTs, man.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how he knew that DTs were coming. Maybe he just thought to himself, if my opponent is going for a 3-gate with DTs, then this is about the time when the DTs would come. Yeah, and I mean, it's not that much of an investment if you think about it. It's
especially
if
you're expanding, yeah.
Hell yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're going to expand, you might as well get a cannon or two. It's kind of safe because you're not expecting Colossus that early on. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's just a forge, which you're going to get eventually for upgrades anyways, and then it's 150 minerals for a cannon. And I think Zocke made a very wise investment. It paid off huge, because if he didn't have a cannon there, it would have been game. He would have been just done. It would have been done. So here we are. It's 1-1 tied up, and we have game 3 on Metalopolis.
And this map is a lot harder to try and expand on because the naturals are wide open, so decent stalker play is going to annihilate any sort of defensive position there, as you always like to make reference to. There's a very small defender's advantage in PvP, so so that wider choke point is definitely going to come into play. Looks like Zaka actually scouting around the top left. Not sure what he was doing with that probe, taking the long way. Yeah, I guess he is, or maybe looking to cheese himself. I'm honestly not sure, but this probe is taking a very weird path.
Yeah, that probe has certainly got its compass mixed up right now. He needs to make its way down south to find out where Killer is spawning. It looks like it's just going to tag the watchtower for now and then finally go down. Looks like maybe Zaka is just very aware for being aware for cheese right now. Maybe he's worried that Killer is going to cheese him.
Kind of looks like he made a phallic symbol here out of the watchtower, out of his initial scouting path. Huh. I don't know.
Interesting. Phallic symbols?
Yeah, Zaka, you dirty man, you.
I don't know, man. Well, he finally finds his way with his phallic thrusting probe into Killer's main, and we'll just have to see what happens here. It looks like both players getting cybernetic scores same time, and a second gateway going up for Killer, whereas Zocke is not yet choosing to reveal which path he wants to go down.
Now, is it putting up the next Estimate Geyser as well? He's got to watch out and make sure that Killer doesn't steal his gas this time. We'll see if he gets down there, or if Killer is planning to do that or not. How much chrono boost does he have saved up? Enough. That'll be enough for pretty conventional warp gate timings for a 3-gate robo, or even a less offensive 4-gate. He's certainly not going to rush with a ton of units right away, but we do have a Zealot making its way down to Killer's base. Killer, though, already putting out 1 Stalker.
Yeah, Killer has put out 1 Stalker already. He still has that probe inside of Zocke's main, so he's getting a really good scout. No Stalker coming out for Zocke quite yet. It is on the way, but that probe has gotten a decent amount of scouting. Finally, a 2nd and 3rd gate going down, actually getting canceled, and then being built. And it's going to be a 4-gate coming out for Zocke after he deflects that scouting probe. So Killer is operating in the dark right now, doesn't quite know what's coming, except based on his initial scout of the chrono boost energy and the amount of gateways that were down, he may be tipped off to this 4-gate.
This is a super offensive 4-gate. There's only 1 gas, so this is going to be primarily Zealots with a few Stalkers mixed in. So Zocke is going to be very aggressive. Already the forward pylon getting put down, and it looks like Killer decided to go into a 3-gate Stalker build. Or, I'm sorry, not a 3-gate. A 3-Stalker build is what I meant to say. Not 3-gate Stalker, but a 3-Stalker build.
Yeah, he's opening up with 2-gate Stalker aggression.
Oh, God.
He might be just completely overrun by Zocke here.
It's very possible this gateway's just about done. Killer, though, clearly setting up for a little bit of a defensive position. So he thought maybe just the Zealot and Stalker were on its way, but he's got 2 sentries out now. He's going to be able to force field that ramp quite a few times, and that is going to force Zaka's hand because he has cut probes for a little while now.
Yeah, well, I think Zocke is going to be able to at least barrel up this ramp and waste that force field energy at the very least, and maybe only sack a couple of Zealots at that cost. Also warping in a couple of pylons on the low ground. I love this play. Now he can warp in Zealots on the high ground unless the pylons get canceled by Killer, and Killer has to kill off this pylon. It's absolutely essential to his survival here. Gonna get the 2nd pylon down as well. That is huge, and keeping that force field to prevent the Stalkers and the Zealots from running up the ramp. That pylon in the back is still warping in, but it is sniped out by Killer, and Killer playing impeccably well right now to defend against the 4-gate.
Yeah, Zaka actually didn't cancel 2 of those pylons, and now Killer has 4 sentries, so he actually, when you have 4 sentries, you can just permanently recycle force fields. Exactly. Zaka, there we go, finally canceling off a couple of those, but forgetting to and actually wasting a few resources there for a little while, he is going to continue to try to be as aggressive as possible. it looks like Killer is aware of this,
cancel
though.
That pylon.
Let's see. It looks like a few Stalkers are making their way up. He's picking off a couple of Stalkers, not really going after the expensive sentries. I would have rather him try to target down a couple of expensive sentries at first.
This is bad for Zaka. He hasn't really been able to do any damage at all with this 4-gate. Killer just sitting back on his 2 gateways and all these sentries. He can permanently force field the ramp. However, one thing Zok's got going for him is he does have the pylon on the low ground now. He can warp Zealots onto the ramp, but it looks like Zok is going to fall back. Not a bad decision from him because Killer is getting 2 more gateways up, so he's going to have the same amount of production. And not only that, Killer has more economy. This is really bad for Zok. How is he going to get out of this situation?
Well, to his credit, Killer's not that far ahead in economy, and Killer had to invest in gateways just recently where Zaka can just continue to warp in over and over and over again. So both players are pretty even in that regard. Of course, Killer has the larger standing army at the moment, along with these expensive sentries that are accumulating a good bit of energy. Yeah, as you are correct, he does have more probes. We do have Twilight Councils coming out of both players as well. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Killer is decently ahead right now because Zok's, that 4-gate build is designed to do as much damage as possible, if not end the game in the beginning. And, he didn't kill off the valuable sentries. He really didn't kill off anything at all. And he didn't cancel a bunch of his pylons. He allowed them to get picked off. So that's sent to 100 minerals behind, 200 minerals behind, 300 minerals behind, back and back and back and back, and that's just so much to get set back by that. He's not completely out of this game yet, but certainly he's gonna have to figure something out. He's got to get his tech up quicker because we can see Killer is getting that blink already, and Zok just doesn't even have anything coming out of that Twilight Council.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going
Dark
to do.
Shrine.
Oh, the ultimate catch-up maneuver.
So if you're behind, what do you do, cats?
I'm not gonna lie though. This is going to work out pretty well for Zaka. Killer just invested himself into Blink Stalkers without a Robo, so he wasn't planning to be super aggressive with those. Looks like he was going to try and sit back and take a little bit of damage at first. He's going to make his way out now since he's accumulated a very large group of Stalkers, but the point remains he didn't put up that Robo initially, so he is going to be very far behind on detection. And if Zaka can play enough defense just to get a couple of DTs on the field, he is going to be able to play that catch-up pretty well.
Here comes Killer, man. I mean, he's got Blink ready to go. It's a great timing for him to attack. And in fact, Zok only has 1 sentry to force field the ramp with. Zok is going to have to land this force field attempt, but it really doesn't even matter because Killer can blink up to the high ground. Both players engaging with a massive battle right here, and Zok is just trying to buy time to get the Dark Templar out. That Dark Shrine is about 30 seconds away from finishing. All of his Stalkers are just being force fielded all around, and Zok, it looks like Zok will be able to buy enough time to get the Dark Templar out. What a hold by Zok.
I'm a little surprised that Killer didn't decide to press it a little bit more right there. Of course, he was afraid of those Zealots, but if he had engaged on this ramp, he would have been in a pretty good position with good control.
There's a DT.
There's a DT, though. It's going to make its way down, and we're actually going to watch this DT and see how many kills it's able to get or how much damage it's able to do, as it looks like Killer is primed to take this game. Only a DT remaining, but oh my god, there's a DT running into Killer's base. Is that going to be enough to keep Zaka alive?
I don't know. I mean, both players are going to trade off heavily right here. It looks like Zok going right into the mineral line with that Dark Templar. That warping of the DT on the offensive, so smart, man. He could have warped 2 DTs to completely try to defend, but, it will take forever for those DTs to chase down Blink Stalkers, so Zok, being the wiser man, decides to warp in an offensive DT, killing off several probes inside of Killer's main, and it looks like Zok is going to be able to kill off all these Stalkers, but he's lost so many of his probes, and I don't know if that's the same thing on Killer's side. No, Killer's has 12 probes alive.
14 kills, though, so we're at 11 supply to 26. Zaka is still at a big disadvantage, but like you said,
facility coming up, he does.
Okay, so he is going to have detection on the field, and Killer is putting a Nexus over here at the 12 o'clock position.
Is that the robotics facility at the gold?
Yeah,
it is. Oh my goodness!
Oh,
if Zok finds it, he can get the pylon down. Zok is going to kill the pylon, and the robotics facility will not be able to get the observers out. A second pylon trying to warp in, but the 2 DTs are now camping the robotics facility, which is huge. That means Killer will not be able to get any detection out unless Killer distracts the Dark Templar, and Zok doesn't.
Zok too smart for that, though. He comes back with one of those DTs, and he's going to be able to re-deny these pylons over and over and over again. So it looks like Killer is trying to go for the jugular. He picks off a couple more workers. That's it. Zok only has 3 workers on the field, so he's going to go into all-out base race and just try and pick off units as fast as he can. Do we have another Robo coming up?
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
But there's an that observer is stuck in the production queue, unable to warp out, just stuck in limbo. limbo between Ire and Metalopolis, and it looks like the robotics facility is going to go down along with that observer in transition. And now, what do we have on the units tab? We have 3 DTs versus 12 probes, 5 stalkers, and 2 sentries.
That's it. That's all the economy Zaka has, and now Killer is going to be able to continue to warp in units. Let's see, he's going after the Nexus, and he's not paying attention to his stalkers.
He has to keep every stalker alive right now, and basically snipe out all the buildings while outmaneuvering the Dark Templar, and that's going to be very difficult.
Oh, and the Dark Templar has found the base over here at the 12 o'clock position. This is so bad for for Killer. Oh my god, I can't believe this. This game is turning into a ridiculous base race. This Nexus is starting to get low. But this Dark Templar is just going to work.
Honestly, that Nexus doesn't matter. Killer, what he needs to do right now is just kill off all the buildings of Zocke, all the while avoiding that Dark Templar, and that's going to be so hard for him to do. Zocke, on his mindset, what does he need to do? He needs to kill off all the buildings of Killer with his 3 DTs and not allow any minerals to be mined right now, because the robotics facility will end his day. And there's a robotics facility being tucked away inside the steam vents. This is huge. If Zocke doesn't find that Robo Bay, that could be the end of Zocke.
And it looks like this Nexus is down to just 200 points of health. He needs to be able to get out of probe sometime. He was delaying, waiting, trying to get out of probe.
I don't think he even cares about trying to re-macro, man.
Oh, let's see. And the Nexus is gonna fall. Okay.
I mean, for the probes. Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Okay, so Zaka is still going to town on this Nexus. It looks like Killer is going to be able to warp in a couple more units, but there is another DT going to town on this Nexus
see
up
the
here.
robotics facility.
But he doesn't have enough money for the robotics facility, so it looks like, oh my god! Killer was trying to get enough gas
for the
but he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough. So he has no detection.
Does he have any probes on the
map?
map?
No, he doesn't have any probes.
Oh my god.
So this is all-out base race. Can Zaka actually kill the structures with his DTs faster than Killer can kill his structures with his stalkers?
I don't know what Killer's doing. He's moving around the map with his
stalkers.
He
has to. Zaka's going to win this because Zaka is chasing down these stalkers, which means the stalkers can't just sit in position and pick off structures.
Yeah. But what Zocke needs to do is move, or Killer needs to do is move into Zocke's main and just snipe out all the buildings and avoid that Dark Templar. I don't know why he's taking this sweet time.
Wait a second. That's just a couple of sentries. God, those sentries actually need to be used right now in army composition. I know they don't have much DPS, but they actually need to be used to pick off a couple of structures right now.
Every hit counts so much, especially if those stalkers do not have any shields.
How many
permanent damage.
He has to avoid the DT this entire time, whereas he has
and kill off all those structures in Zocke's main.
Yeah, so this is just going to turn into pure base race. Oh, and Zaka intercepts, does a little bit more damage. He's got 2 DTs around doing damage now. The Robo is depowered once again.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That stalker could go down into the Dark Templar, and a huge blink by Killer, bringing those 2 sentries. That's huge. Oh my god. If he can keep that ramp permanently force fielded, he can use the stalkers to pick off all the buildings inside Zocke's main, but those 2 sentries do not have enough energy to permanently force field that ramp forever, so this is huge. Can Zocke break through that ramp, and can Killer keep that ramp force fielded forever?
I don't know, man. He's got too many structures to try and go after. It looks like the 3rd DT is coming back now, so Zaka is just going to go directly after these units as long as he can.
Killer was luring the DTs out of the main so he could pull off that play. That's so smart.
Actually really cool.
That's so smart.
I'm a little surprised because Zaka only really needs 1 or even 2 DTs to start taking down these units.
He only needs to send 1 DT in.
Just take 1 and start killing structures with it, you know?
I don't know why well, at the same time, though, if he doesn't send all of his DTs, then 1 DT could be kited forever inside that main. So maybe he wants to really get all the DTs
maybe just
inside.
2 of them and just send 1 around to go ahead and pick off structures or something like that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh my god, those sentries, how much energy do they have left? How much energy do the sentries have left?
Okay, let's see. That one's about to have enough for a force field.
Okay,
That's going to be the last force field for a while, though.
About another 30 seconds worth of force fields remaining for Killer, and Killer's killing off all the buildings right now. There is still a lot of buildings alive, and what is that moving out across the map? It's just a random zealot. All right, so the zealot's going out to kill off the buildings.
He had 100 resources left. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so he's using the zealot for that.
Okay.
But
the DTs are inside now. The DTs are inside, and they're going to be able to kill. Oh my god, 1-shotting the sentries. 2-shotting that sentry, and now it's just 3 stalkers against 3 Dark Templars. Once again, Killer's got to get out of there, and he's gonna blink.
There he goes.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so the Zealot's doing work now.
Jesus.
Okay, guys, we're in for a little bit of a merry-go-round chase here, and as people are pointing out in chat, yes, this could take a little while, but still, this has gone into a pretty ridiculous epic base trade. So we're looking at now 1 Zealot and 3 Dark Templar. But what, are there any units moving down here? Yeah, 1 DT is going to start making his way down to the bottom, and this Zealot is actually going to get picked off, which is pretty big.
That's pretty big.
Zaka doesn't want to lose that.
Yeah, but there's nothing he can do. That Zealot's done. So what's going on here? Killer kills off one of the zealots of Zocke's getting kind of confusing right now. And right now, Killer's main is being destroyed by one Dark Templar, and I love the positioning of those two DTs.
Well, you would think if you would position them down at the bottom, he may be able to block the ramp, and then they wouldn't be able to blink up to the high ground.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, he might be able to blink up here. Yes, you can see the pylon.
How does he have...
I don't know.
Vision.
I don't know how he sees that pylon, but he sees it, and if he sees it, he should be able to blink up. But he's not going to blink up. Okay, maybe he can't blink up. No, he cannot. Well,
okay.
Now that the pylon's down, he can't.
See the pylon, though.
Yeah, well, there is one Dark Templar killing off Killer's main, so Killer has a limited amount of time here to win the game. Eventually, all of his buildings will go down to that DT, and here comes Killer. He's going to try to run up the ramp to encounter the invisible wall.
And, okay, he can see the Dark Trine, so he's just going to try and pick off a couple of structures from the low ground, but one DT is starting to hack away at his structures back at home.
Wow.
This is actually starting to take a little while now.
Actually, you know, I think Zocke might win this game. Oh, one of the DTs was pulled away from the ramp, and now the Stalkers can run inside, and Killer not going to do it.
So we're just going to have the merry-go-round dance here for a little while. This Dark Shrine is eventually going to be targeted.
But Cats, all this time, Zocke is killing off Killer's main.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
definitely.
Yeah.
That's pretty... God, he couldn't get those 75 gas. That's all he needed.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's the individual blink away. The Dark Shrine is about to fall.
Oh, such good micro right here. He doesn't kill the Dark Shrine off.
Let's see if he splits him up. If one Stalker goes down, that significantly limits
that's
Killer's
a 33%
DPS.
damage reduction.
Yes.
That's huge.
And
oh my goodness, that was huge. Those Stalkers taking permanent damage on their hull. Not good. That means they're just going to be one-shot wonders for the Dark Templar. And all this time, Killer is still losing his main. Zocke is slicing and dicing his way through Killer's main, and all the buildings are almost gone down. Don't forget, guys, though, there is an assimilator at the 12 o'clock still remaining to be killed.
Yeah, so even if Zaka makes his way through all of these,
he's going to try to run up
find out here. He can't at the moment, so he's going to come back and pick off the Dark Shrine one more time. There's only a couple of structures now left for Zaka. And
I think
there it goes. Dark Shrine is done.
I feel like both sides here have about the same number of structures left. About 3 buildings and about 4 or 5 pylons is all that remains.
To make his way in?
No, that's so risky now because those Stalkers have no health.
I know.
They could die really quickly. That Dark Templar is killing things really quickly.
Yeah, it really is. 17 kills on him now. Of course, the simulators have ridiculous 900 HP.
He's gonna get up the ramp.
He's going for it.
He's going for it. That's huge. He blinks and he's up the ramp. This is it. He has to out-micro those 2 DTs, and this is like a micro-tournament game right now because Zocke has to surround the Stalkers with his 2 Dark Templar and try to catch them out. Oh my god, Killer's just blinking so wisely right now. This is just a micro-on-micro battle. It's going to be so close.
Oh, this is actually kind of cool to watch. This is really fun because these players are actually very, very good. Good target fire going down from Killer as well, so he will eventually be able to pick off this. God, he's using that blink timing just perfect, and it looks like this warp gate is about to fall here in a couple of seconds. He's just going to keep running these units around. Blink. Yep, avoids the hit. Oh god, he's about to lose one of his Stalkers.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's huge. Trapped.
Oh, he blinks it out. This is so crazy.
This is so much fun to cast, actually. This is pretty fun.
This is the best PvP I've ever casted, bar none. And it looks like Killer is going to snipe off one of the gateways. It's just one building out of many to be killed, though, so he's got to micro this well the entire time. But he hasn't even been microing perfectly all this time. He has been taking hits. Look at that Stalker. It's only got 1 HP.
God. Okay, they get away. So they come in.
I don't know if he should have blinked out, though.
And here we go. Old DT is still going to town on all of these structures.
Cats, I don't know if Killer should have blinked out. I think he should have stayed inside the main because now it's going to be so hard to run up past those 2 DTs. And this time Zocke realizing, hey, if I leave the 2 DTs at the bottom of the ramp, well, just one.
But got one.
You know what? But look, dude.
Oh, this guy's patrolling back and forth. I gotcha.
How is Killer gonna get right back into this main, man? He should have stayed in there. He shouldn't have blinked out. That was.
I mean, look how much effort it took to take down one.
I know,
gate, though.
but I think it's win or loss at this point.
Yeah, the TT from Killer, though, I think he realizes that he's not going to be able to do this. Zaka, look, he already has all these structures queued up. I don't think he knows about this pylon yet, or he does, but I mean, he doesn't have it queued up yet. We'll get that.
He's in. He's back in. He's back in. He's inside the main, and he knows it. He's got to do this. He's got to do this for Io. He's got to do this for Korea. Can he do it? He's blinking around the map. The Stalkers are taking hits. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm like a little girl right now. He's gonna lose one of the Stalkers.
Stalker goes down, and there's GG, and he leaves it. That was ridiculous. So Zaka manages the DT comeback of the century. Holy crap.